doubt he'll be letting Bolo or Achieved or any of the other members of TSM have their day either. But of course, to start off, we have Bank. As mentioned on the desk, this is a very good TSM map and one they prefer a lot. But as a result, it's got a little bit of a mixed record, Harrison. But I don't think we can deny after the RTV game yesterday that they don't just like it. They can certainly excel and dominate on it if you give them the openings and the opportunities they're looking for.
Absolutely. TSM looked lights out against RTV yesterday, but SSG just now also looked lights out against RTV on Bank. So I think it goes back to what the desk was talking about. You know, which situation would you rather be in? Would you rather be TSM or SSG? Here, SSG already warmed up on Bank, but TSM likely sitting back. Sure, they might be a little cold, but they got to watch from a third person point of view. They got to watch everything that SSG were doing. And as you can see, the chat is lighting up. These players are excited. They've been in this situation before. They all the way back to the Rally Major. SSG versus TSM was the last game, and SSG were the ones that won it.
I mean, when you have these two teams, you have these players who have so much history and have so much on the line in this match. It's hard not to get excited at how these 2 to 3 maps are going to transpire. Just saw Bank from SSG today, just saw Bank from TSM yesterday, and now we get to see how these two titans of North America, they might not be alongside Astralis or the Sonics at having already qualified, but they are certainly titans. Because with the history both these teams have, and butting heads, the entire reality might fall apart on this map, Harrison, if things get crazy enough.
Well, reality's already gone.
That's a good point.
We're in the abstract now.
That was disrespectful of me. I should apologize. I didn't mean to rub salt in the wound there. That's on me.
All good. But yeah, we can call these two teams, I think, even though as of recent times, other teams, I think NA has definitely evened out, I would say. Teams have gotten better, joined TSM and SSG in the top echelon.
Deep pool.
Yeah, OXG has gotten better. Astralis has gotten better. Even XSET was up there at one point. Sonics went from like one of the worst teams in NA to now one of the most consistently top 4. But TSM, SSG, I mean, when you think about, at least when I think about NA rivalry, I think about these two. It's like it's like the Yankees Red Sox of Siege.
And when you have that kind of rivalry, again, it's just like we said, makes this match all the better. But as we get into the game, Offban's now done. What are these teams doing? Well, SSG, given the fact that, they didn't have a lot of time between these two matchups, running things similar to how they did on Bank against RTV. We have Bosco on blue stairs and Foltz with that Cade following up just behind. But TSM are differing from RTV. They're not going for that full clear. Instead, Gasher on the Monty with a Ying behind him are trying to cause chaos inside of server. Meanwhile, the rest of the team is trying to apply a little bit of pressure in garage. Now, there's no Echo on the board that SSG played last map, so Rampy isn't inside a garage. And that gives a little bit of free real estate for TSM to open up and start applying pressure while the bulk of the attack, that Montaigne and that Ying, are trying to fight for server.
The first Candela came out earlier. There was a C4 in response that forced the Ying back and a smoke grenade to boot. Bosco's going to have to cover his team, though, as this Cade is full blind. And once again, there's the toxic gas canister. But they're burning it rather early. Bosco's only got 1 left. And pretty soon, he's going to have none if those Candelas continue to come through. And of course, Bosco has a total of 3. Achieved has 4. So once that last one goes out, how is Bosco going to defend Hotton?
And then Foltz has already used his C4 as well. So with that last smoke now gone, once TSM try to go for that plant, they'll only be relying on angles and impacts to try to deny that plant. Merc is pushed fairly far up inside a garage, though. Rampy might not have an idea on his exact position, but has an idea that he wants to play aggressive. Bosco certainly wants to get in their face as well. Dust's achieved, and that leaves the only man standing behind server.
And now no more Candelas. What's the wedge that they're going to use to get themselves in? Rampy and Foltz with kills as well. Rampy getting the important one onto Merc. That was their backside. That was their garage presence. All 4 of the TSM members, other than him, were pushing this side of the map. So now all you have is Gasher and Snake trying to force their way into A. We questioned, after those Candelas were gone, how was TSM going to force themselves in? But how is SSG going to defend Foltz? it was just Bosco getting aggressive and swinging, growing some hair on his chest, but in come the smokes. In comes Gasher, getting tagged up from the hatch, getting the plant down now turtle style, but there's so many impacts. 4 of them being thrown out, ensuring that Gasher can't get it down. Hot in the finisher through the hatch, and SSG, a good server hold to propel them to the first victory.
Burning a lot of smokes, but Bosco making the best decision he could have in that moment. Once that time waste is gone, and with Foltz already using his C4, if you're going to hold server, you're going to need to get aggressive, and that's what he managed to do. When you have that Monty, he might be full shielded, he might be impervious to damage, but he doesn't have a gun up either. Achieved was the only one able to cover him in that instance, and once he's taken down, the rest of the team had just now rotated over. They can start playing the trades, but SSG are the ones who came out of that hold with the lead and had burned so much time up until that point. So when they continue that man advantage, and Gasher has to go for the plant, those impacts, they might not be C4s or smokes, but if you toss 4 at the same time, that will eviscerate anybody going for the defuse.
And a team ace.
Indeed. I actually just noticed that. Let's go SSG.
Let's go SSG. You know what's really funny too? There's 6 total assists tallied up.
10 seconds to go.
I didn't even know that was possible. I didn't know multiple people could get I didn't know multiple people could get an assist for 1 kill.
Well, you know what's funny about that? I think it's because, if I were to guess, because 2 people hit the Monty with an impact to down him, but he got down, and the 3rd finished him off.
That would be pretty funny. Also, probably, you know, Foltz has 3 assists from just holding down server with a vengeance, too.
Nah, that's another
candidate.
candidate.
Absolutely. So SSG with I would say a comical finish to round number 1, and now, curiously enough, they move up to CEO. And at least, you know, Carter, in our home turf of Challenger League, CEO has really taken a dip. I mean, we saw it in both CL and even in T3. Not a lot of teams really like CEO anymore. Open area is the more dominant secondary site. We've even seen Teller's archives come out from these teams in the past round. So with and now with an opening from Yeti, I mean, they start things off pretty well.
And SSG are playing to their strengths right now, putting forth a unified front on this roam and on the site as well. Bolt's getting down, but Yeti able to trade that out with the TCSG, but now 3 players on Space Station Gaming are at reduced HP. Merc is just trying his best to roll the dice and catch somebody rotating up these marble stairs, but they all remain elusive for the time being. But TSM has cleared that stock shield, though, which can often get teams hung up if they're pushing from this square side. So anybody who wants to push up far into that vending hall won't have the same cover they had before to make it work.
SSG are really stacked up. Again, there's like 4 people by that the main stairs long desk side of things, and Bosco is going to lead things off with the kill onto Gasher once they start setting up for that execute, but Yeti drops down, victimized by Merc and Foltz with an immediate response. Snake can't make it happen, Bosco gets his second, and Bolo's left on the rappel. On Overwatch duty. Not a lot he could have done there to save his team, and he'll just, you know, last-ditch effort swing in. Actually, wow, win the fight on Rampy. That was pretty impressive. Hold on, actually, Foltz and Bosco are lit. This is doable.
So, I don't know, but Bolo's lit as well, though, so we might be looking at Hutton to be the one to save the day, but then again, this is Bolo. Never want to count him out. Bosco's got a Black Mirror looking exactly his way, but he waits and then fires at the last possible moment. You love to see that patience from Bosco, and as you said, indeed, a nice play. SSG go 2-0 now, so CEO, you and I might not be used to seeing it as the second preferred site after lockers, but SSG have this one on lock. And as we go to open area, the third, I'm looking once again to see if SSG, when they extend up to that top floor, as you have to do on open area, with, say, Rampy playing inside of Banana or outside of Banana, somebody playing outside of Stock, once again, playing off each other, coordinating, and even if somebody goes down and they lose that initial fight, somebody's close by to get that trade, because that has been SSG's biggest strength. When they have been winning so far in this qual, their biggest strength has been playing those trades and playing together.
Oh yeah, both against Reality TV in the match we just saw, and now the first couple rounds against TSM. That trade game has been indomitable. And two, you know, going up against a team like SSG, I wouldn't expect them to be stacking bodies on top of each other, because they're very, they're very crossfire heavy, which sometimes can thin their presence out a bit. You don't usually expect, you know, 2 or 3 people to be holding almost identical positions. So TSM, I think, were definitely caught off guard by that, namely Merc that we saw on screen, killing Yeti dropping down, and then who was the Azami right there to respond. SSG, I also like the use of their Solus, making sure that they're bringing her. They brought her on lockers, and we'll see her on open area as well, kind of on a solo lurk, ready and waiting for any drones to come her way, because as much as we highlight the info game from SSG, with how aggressive and in-your-face TSM tend to play, the info is just as important for them too.
And SSG have been one of the big teams so far. Well, a lot of people when Solus came out were like, oh my god, this is just, a better pulse, a power creep pulse. SSG have definitely been the people who, when they have a pulse in the strat, have replaced it with the Solus. This one being an example. They used to have a pulse playing below CEO to play for that C4 and play on that heartbeat scanner. Now it's Hotton on the Solus playing that part. But Rampy, he's always played this spot. He is the king of front desk. So when TSM tries to repel him, he'll try to take those fights, aided by the intel provided by Hot and Cold down below.
He's got that shotgun, so he's self-sufficient in terms of rotates as well, but here comes Merc on the lobby lurk that we typically see like a Nook kind of do, which is strange that they're not having Nook do it, considering she's unbanned, but Fultz may be our first casualty as he hits the deck. Rampy cannot flick in time, but Hot and Cold has a response on Gasher, so for the moment, we're even, and Fultz dropping the hatch is easily resable.
Yet he's still playing upstairs, though, knows he can maybe burn a little bit more time, get another kill. They were a little sloppy, TSM, on this clear. Assume that everyone dropped back, and now Yeti, that remaining on the top floor, it pays dividends. The Ying now gone. They used so many of the Candelas and the smokes already. Now with Gasher dead, they lose the Candelas as well. Only 2 flashbangs for Snake to blind the team, and no more smokes to speak of. And with SSG rotating back, having a 4v3, even with Fultz low, that one remaining toxic canister, any generating Kibas to be left, or even any secondary utility to speak of, TSM, they'll burn about 20 to 30 more seconds setting up for this clear. SSG have that advantage, and they can use that remaining utility to throw TSM completely off guard.
And on a site like open area, it's not a great site for vertical play. Most of the vertical play you see here is just to clear out like that back line, horizontal or lateral to the hatch, and clearing the roam, where Yeti is currently sitting. But I can tell by the way Achieved is playing, I don't know if they know exactly where he is. There's even, where did that gas canister come? Did he just whip it up the hatch? I have to assume so. And Hot and Cold still on the lurk downstairs, gets a second kill on the round. That's going to prompt the rest of SSG to funnel in back to the site. You saw 2 bodies rotating to help support Fultz, who's going to get flushed out by a Rotero drone, but it doesn't really matter. He's still safe. Achieved is dropped into bottom square, now taking a fight with Bosco as he's lit up, finishes the Azami, but their time is so low. Snake is forced to drop in, caught easily by Yeti, and Hot and Cold still on the roam, gets a 3rd kill.
That's why you have those impacts. Quickly open the door and catch the final remaining TSM player completely off guard. And for just a moment, I want to contrast TSM going up 3-0 against Reality TV yesterday to SSG going up 3-0 over TSM today. Because when TSM, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Harrison, you were casting the game, or if you feel you have a different interpretation, but with TSM, it felt like a tempest rolling over Reality TV. People completely in control of everything and dominating the very map that they played on. And SSG are doing the same thing, but it doesn't feel the same. It doesn't feel like a tidal wave colliding against TSM. It feels like they just know exactly what's going on at all times, the proper move to be played in the situation. It's like they're grandmaster chess players at the moment. They know when to rotate, know when to push, and know how to maneuver around TSM to catch them off guard and get these kills. So instead of complete and utter chaos and throwing everything you have against the enemy team, SSG are just poking and prodding in the right places to whittle TSM down.
I would say that is a very apt way to put it. Maybe overly apt.
I don't know if you can be overly
a little
apt.
Suspicious of you now. Are you in my brain?
I might be.
I definitely agree. With TSM, it really felt like it was gun heavy. Like they were just killing RTV at every turn. Whereas SSG right now, like you said, it's like they're GMs. Like they're like 3,000 elo chess players right now. Just every place its piece, and every piece its place, and they're playing around each other perfectly, but it's just as dominant. So 3-0 SSG, a perfect site rotation. They go back down to lockers with a similar setup, still rocking the castle, still rocking the Solis. They've got that on-site presence in the Cade and the Smoke, who are likely going to be duoing in server with those gas canisters and C4. But there's no Monty for TSM this time, and there's no Ying. So sure, you know, they did lose a lot more bodies than they wanted to in taking server, but they still took it. How are they going to deal with it now?
Well, before that, their lineup in round one, it was basically crafted to try to ram through into server and then take that control. This is opted to more go for that full clear, but as a result, weigh their options more, not commit them to that server take. They have the Thatcher to destroy those Cade charges, and the Twitch as well if they wanted to do that. They have the Hibana, the Thermite, so if they want to go for a server take, they can do it. Have the Hibana open up the relevant hatches, and then the Exothermic open up the wall. If it ends up being that they don't have time to do the server take, but they have a kill and they need to do that front take, they can rely mainly on the Hibana to open up those hatches, and Gasher can just go for kills or use his Exothermic on something else. This isn't bottling them in to one specific take like it was before. And as SSG are slowly retreating but still holding on to open area, before they even get to that point, we'll have to see how TSM and maybe Bolo in particular deals with this realm.
You can tell Snake really wanted to drop down the Skylight, but Rampy is continuing to whittle away at the drone game, able to call out that they're starting to drone down the main stairs as well. So, and wow, okay, Bolo's just following it. He's just walking it down, but thanks to Rampy, SSG are wise to it. In fact, he's just going to be the one to peek it, spots Bolo and downs him through the wall. The impact to finish, so self-sufficient. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the power of the Solis.
Knows exactly the lurk Bolo is going for, and when you have Bolo in that position where he spots an opening and he just thinks he can make a play, that is an extremely dangerous position to find an extremely talented player in. But SSG have now countered it. So what do TSM have? Well, not all that much. Only a minute left, and they still haven't fully cleared open area. Only now is Hot and Cold dropped, and TSM can only just now take control of it. If they go into some kind of execute right now, looking like a front-sided take, they are down in the man advantage, and those takes often come down to floods and who can win their gunfights. So if SSG can be as unified as they have been and play those trades, this is looking like it could be a 4-0.
Finally, they walk into open area, but like you said, it took them so long and the time is so low. Red hatch is open, but sight hatch is not. They've still got to use that EMP, open it with Dasher's utility, I guess, just because it's faster, and achieved droning in through elevator spots Rampy, who will answer with another impact as the nades start to funnel in. But what are they going to do about it? Kiva Barrier, I think, came into play, but they very quickly naded it off. Rampy is just prone here. 90-degree angle, daring these players to walk in. Snake takes an engagement, but goes 1-for-1. Rampy prone glides up one, not the second as Gasher refrags, but the time is so low. 5 seconds left, and Gasher can't make his way into sight thanks to Hot and Cold. SSG with another clinical defense. They're up 4-0, Carter.
And on Bank, this is a map that usually favors the attackers. It is quite a large map, and the attack needs to take a lot of map control. But at the same time, for the defense, it can be so hard to hold on to it. But SSG are playing all their cards just right. TSM, they move in the map into the first minute, but SSG hold solid onto that open area. And once Bolo goes to that play and he's taken down, TSM have taken about a minute and a half, 45 seconds. SSG know, okay, we don't need to hold on to this anymore. We've done our jobs. That was confirmation they were making the right play. Then they pull back and wait for TSM to start moving on in. So SSG going up 4-0 on this defense, and especially TSM's pick, a map that they have dominated on in the past day. We are in scary waters if you're a TSM fan. Again, the series isn't done. The map isn't even done. This is certainly a start that TSM and any TSM fan are going to be worried about.
Absolutely. I mean, SSG look incredible right now. Like, I can't even identify any weaknesses. Like, I haven't seen a round yet. And I think that's the big takeaway right now, is that none of these rounds so far have been really close.
No.
Right? I mean, TSM have 2, 4, 6. They have 8 kills in 4 rounds. Every single round, which is actually, that's not only their KPR, but it's accurate too. SSG have had 3 bodies up at the end of every single round. It's pure dominance. And like you said, it's like Magnus Carlsen playing against Sternav right now.
You did not have to do that, bro. That was so out of pocket. But all right. That was just mean. Anyway, but still, the ability for SSG to get all these right moves is still extremely admirable. Going back to CEO now, SSG running back the lineup that they did before, or at least running back the strat that they have before. TSM will focus on clearing out this stock position once again, which, to their credit, they were able to do very early on. They were able to make quick work of, and they haven't lost Achieved early on like they did before down below. So it's still a 5v5, but they're making better progress than they did before. And look at this, Mercs worked his way in, but he still loses the fight to Bosco! 2 times in a row now. The Mira has proven to be the Sultan of Janitor.
I'm telling you, this is Qual Bosco. He does not want to lose this, and Rampy with the run out removes Bolo from the rappel. Fultz gets a follow-up, and the pieces on TSM are crumbling. Snake, finally a kill for his team as he shuts down the Qual Warrior. Bosco now with the 4-4-4 apiece. And Snake's looking for more. Droning through the open hole. Unfortunately, it seems like it's just not quite open enough. He can't make his way through, but a 2 versus 4, still a tall task. And even if they get these site players, there's a C4, I think, from Yeti that's pre-placed. Fultz is soulless down below, and there's nowhere you can plant that's going to be safe from him.
Oh no. But look at SSG right now. They're not getting over-aggressive by any stretch of the imagination. They've got 2 players watching that long hallway, and then 2 players likely watching the breach into the site as well, or at least to back up the other 2 players in that crossfire. So once Snake and Achieve push up, this will be a bloodbath.
Here comes the first engagement, and Snake loses it out. A crossfire being held, Achieved with 1 refrag. But again, 3 players left alive. Fultz not on his scanner, so he may not have just seen the attempt of the case, but did everyone just evacuate? Because they can play! They can play for this! Fultz is just starting to... Oh wait, it's dropped. Wait, was that a distraction? So I think Achieve just tried to go for like a distraction play, but unfortunately not really working because everyone else from SSG is falling off, and yeah, now they know. Now they know it's just sitting there. Achieve working his way up Banana. He's going to take the first engagement against Hot and Cold and lose it. For the 5th round in a row, Carter, SSG win their defense with 3 bodies up.
And for the 5th time in a row, SSG make a convincing argument for why they are the ones to win this qual. Indomitable so far on Bank. And just look at that late round right there. Achieve tried to make a good play to go for those kills. He puts the diffuser down, and maybe a less experienced team sees the diffuser, tries to shoot it, and then the rest on the top floor try to converge on that position to deal with the player planting the bomb. But SSG, they're wise. Fultz quickly realizes, oh wait, it's not moving. The bomb's not going down. Achieved is just trying to bait us, and SSG is like, oh, is that correct? All right, let's do what we're doing. Just hang back. That's the type of skill we are seeing from SSG in this matchup, and we're going into the final round now. The last opportunity for TSM to win a single attack on Bank, something that has seemed a task far too tall for them against Space Station so far. So we'll see how they're able to manifest something in this final round, because this is looking like SSG's map, and it ain't even their pick.
Hot and Cold hasn't died yet.
I mean, like, what else could you ask from him? What else could you ask?
SSG right now are firing on all cylinders, and I feel like that's not something that we say too often about this team, especially in their international play. How the hell do you even Jönköping or whatever? The Sweden Major Part 2. Their play was lackluster. They got grouped, which is not something that happens to SSG very often, but they are itching to get back on that international stage and prove that they are here to stay. 1 more round will complete a 6-0 flawless half. Of course, they got to get through all 5 members of TSM first. Bring in the Capitao, bring in the Flores, lots of really good utility pieces for TSM to try and clear out this roam, but SSG have been really fierce.
Fierce indeed. Achieved looking for a nade on this rappel. Rampy plays that position inside of Office so consistently. So if they know he's there and cook the nade properly, they can land it. There we go. Castle barricade in the way. Can't do anything just yet. He'll keep cooking it. Open it up. He's still got 1 nade left and remaining, but SSG's defense so far hasn't been stopped. The same one they've been consistently throughout this qual. Fultz and Janitor, Rampy in Office, and Fultz looking to get aggressive on this rappel. If he's able to get an opening pick and maybe waste 20 more seconds after that, that'll be exactly what SSG are looking for to take round 6.
I was going to say, that's a bold peek from Fultz, holding the window rappel with that SMG-11, but he just shoots the drone and gets away. Ace charge comes through, so Janitor's going to be a little bit more exposed, which might prompt Fultz to fall back to site, but no. still happy sitting here. Oh, does he have someone watching the wall? Yeah, Rampy's able to pick it off, and Fultz domes Bolo on the rappel as he goes for a reattempt. For the 6th, by the way, Carter, I didn't even mention this. Not only have they had 3 up,
I was about to.
they've had every single opening pick thus far.
They've taken away TSM's one big advantage, that ability to cause chaos, that ability to get picks. SSG have turned it against them. And what did I say? They get that opening pick, waste 20 more seconds, and then completely fall back. 4 players on that first floor, and Yeti down below roaming right now. And TSM simply and likely will not have the time to fully clear him. Hot and Cold might pass them on by. Yeti might flank up Blue and do exactly what Hotton did in round number 3. And as Achieved is looking, trying to find that roamer, he's not hitting the one spot he needs to.
And Fultz, another kill now. Playing on site, he's fallen back. No gas canisters remaining, so at least TSM don't have to worry about that. But Yeti's hitting the flank. He's got pings from the alibi. It seems like TSM had an inkling. That's going to be Snake's job to hold him there. But earlier, we saw Achieved going for the vertical play and has no idea Hot and Cold's tucked in the corner. So very spread out positions from SSG, but unseen. And that's where they're the strongest. Gasher's starting to send utility in, but his entire team dies as soon as he sends out that bolt. Could be a flawless round, and indeed it is. SSG lock out the last round of the half, 6-0. Pure dominance.
6 opening kills, 6 round victories in a row. And Harrison, no, that actually, they broke one pattern. Do you know what it was? They did not end that round with only 3 defenders up. Because they ended the round with every defender up. And they improved over that one. So if we're looking to break streaks today, that's the one SSG are looking for. And I don't want to say it's hopeless for TSM. This is a map they play a lot. This is a map they are comfortable on. And it's a map that they've even played against SSG back at the end of the NAL Stage 3. They know how these things can go sometimes. And for SSG, as we saw against Reality TV yesterday, they were extremely focused to their detriment on getting that bomb down, often leaving parts of the map uncleared. And if they struggle to acquire map control against TSM today, if TSM could start getting some of those opening picks, they could struggle and TSM could start getting a couple rounds. But SSG just need to get lucky. Just need to make one nice late round individual play a single time, and they go to the next map.
I think something that we also cannot overlook is that, right, SSG played this map today. TSM watched 5 defensive rounds from SSG. And yet, like, the switch up that SSG have between the reality TV game and this game is incredible. Because before, when they were playing RTV on their defenses, yeah, they would extend the roams, but it was mainly just fall-off strategies, right? Prod at them, waste some time, shoot some drones, but in the end, fall back. Don't let RTV get those entries, those aggressive plays they're looking for. Either that or SSG were just going to bunker up with, like, Smoke, Goyo, and Echo. Meanwhile, here against TSM, we're seeing an aggressive side of SSG. They're not giving up any ground whatsoever. And TSM, even though, like we said in the major, and like we said in this qual, if you're not giving TSM those opportunities, they kind of fall back. SSG are meeting TSM head on. They're just winning all the fights.
And when they meet and when they do fall back against TSM, it's not out of fear or because they're being pressured too much. It's because it's part of the plan. It's because that's the right move to make in the moment. It's never because of some overwhelming force. And look at this, 7 rounds in a row now, Harrison. SSG, opening pick. Not only Bolo gone, but they now have Archives control. So dealing with Merc and Achieved inside of open area might just be that much easier. And down goes one.
Rampy with a headshot. Merc, finally a refrag. Looking to bolster his team here with the kill on Fultz. But there's still more members of SSG hunting down for him. Hot and Cold, who was placed on the window. I believe that was Rampy. Also looking for him, Yeti on the cutoff by main stairs, just in case anyone wants to help him out. The nade sailing in will miss, as Merc just narrowly missed the spot on the head, but in the meantime, Hot and Cold's jumped through. The proximity alarm, I guess, not being heard, maybe because of the nade? Was that? There was a prox there, right?
There might have been, but either way, he decided for just a second to not fall back. But Hot and Cold dodging the C4 as well. Nothing going right. The fallback not working. The utility missing. Gasher and Snake, the two new pickups, bunkering down, barricading the door, and battening down the hatches as SSG come knocking.
Gasher, no more C4. Snake still has his gas canisters. It's the perfect time to start to rip them. But Gasher, oh no! 2 whiffs in a row. The Vector just doesn't do enough damage. And Reppy smokes him off the angle. Snake is in a 1v4. The only thing stopping SSG from taking their opponent's map pick flawlessly. 7-0 on Bank. If you're gonna start the finals like this, what the hell are TSM gonna do next map?
Regroup and re-strategize is the name of the game now, because Team Solo Mid, former, or I guess current SI champions, they haven't given up the title yet. If you are gonna try and beat